The big rule in barber school is don't bring politics or religion in a barbershop. And that is all that was fucking happening. I can't go anywhere, so for 9 hours a day, people are telling me like the most awful things. As kids were pitched, find that one thing that really makes you passionate and that you go fucking crazy for. And I think that was the biggest load of crap anyone ever sold me. What if you do that one thing and you're passionate about it, but when it's a job, things being a job changes everything. Stay locked, little lady. Stay locked, whatever.
Please introduce yourself and where you're from.
Oh man, Charlie Coyote from California.
Nice.
Bright and sunny.
What, SoCal or NorCal?
A little bit of both.
Oh.
Yeah, parents were shitty, so I did the whole split 50-50 deal.
What's your origin story
Like some Debbie Downer meets Spider-Man type thing.
Yeah,
I like it. I was kind of on my own from a very young age, and then just kind of did my own thing, didn't graduate high school, just worked a lot. I always wanted to be a barber because on tour, friends with a lot of bands, in a band, I'd cut everybody's hair, I'd cut my own hair. Because growing up, I had hair down to here, and I was not allowed to cut it. I don't know, it was just, hair was always involved. And then I went to school, started school for mortuary science. Then you have to do makeup and hair for the deceased. So I was like, oh, alive or dead, I like hair, so I'm just gonna go for it.
When did you move to Baltimore City?
This summer would have been 6 years.
Wow. What made you come out to the East Coast?
I was living in Austin, Texas, with my roommate, and this is before ovaries were a thing and an issue over there, but we were already no, we need to get out of Texas. He's from the East Coast. I'd never lived over here. I always wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Had to go see that Statue of Liberty or whatever.
What was it like transitioning from Cali or even Texas to, Maryland?
I mean, people are more upfront here. I like that. It's very direct. There's no sugarcoating shit, and I like that. It's just also a pace. It's a lot faster. I was used to just nah, it's chill, whatever. So it's pretty cool to have a regiment and a schedule and just people being fast. I dug it.
How did you start here at Two Bits?
So Bubs, I worked with at Old Bank while I was in barber school. I was doing the bitch shift, so I was just sweeping, going to barber school, working 2 jobs to pay for it. And Bubs was my guy. He always called me over, was like, hey, this is how you deal with a cowlick, this is how you do this. Always showing me shit. And also was just the nicest dude. He was the busiest guy in the shop. Very humble, very sweet. The loudest one too, but I love that motherfucker. He's really cool. And he just took good care of me. Always tipped me out really well. If he got coffee, he got me coffee too. He's kind of like that example of somebody who you want to be when you grow up. So for me as a barber, I was that's how I want to be. The guy that people wait 2 hours to get a haircut from him religiously because he's the shit. Mm. I was supposed to move to Montreal to cut hair, and then the pandemic happened, and I was like, shit, what am I going to do? And he was like, I'm opening up a shop. Do you want to come? So I was the first person he hired.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
What do you like most about, cutting hair, being a barber?
I like the freedom.
Mm.
That's a big thing for me, working for other people, because I've done a little bit of everything. So bartending, pastry chef. I'm kind of a hobbyist, so it's there's not one specific thing that makes me happy, but doing a bunch of other things does. I'm a painter as well. That freedom of, if I want to go travel, I can take this job with me anywhere and it doesn't change. It's always the same. People's hair, it's fucking hair wherever you go.
Who would you recommend this career path shit to?
I mean, if I'm being blunt, as kids were pitched that find that one thing that really makes you passionate and that you go fucking crazy for. And I think that was the biggest load of crap anyone ever sold me, because it's you focus so much. And what if you do that one thing and you're passionate about it, but when it's a job, things being a job changes everything. I would tell somebody, if you want the freedom, and you kind of want to be in control of your day, your pay, all kinds of shit. I don't know, I get to meet so many people. I get to travel and do this a bunch of other places and meet people who are into it as well. I don't know how to answer that, because it's just everybody does their thing, because I'm so much more than a barber. I don't take hair home with me. Like, I don't daydream about it. It's not something where I'm just like, oh, this haircut was so hard, I'm gonna think about it all night. But I know people like that, and that's no right or wrong. It's just, it's different for everybody. So for me, this is like, this gives me the freedom to work my own schedule. I have time for the other things that make me happy. I have time for my partner, I have time for my friends, I have time to fuck around and just like read books and paint. This gives me the life that I can afford to do the things I actually want to do. And so if that's what someone's looking for, this is a good gig. Like, I dig it. I meet new people every day. I meet people like you, fucking like random shit. Like, I love it. It's just, but some days it sucks because you don't always get to be experimental or artistic. Sometimes it's just a 3 on the side, little taper on the back, and that's it. So I would just say to someone, like, figure out who you are and where you flourish the best and what job works for you. Because life is bullshit. I'm being, it's just, it sucks. You grow up, you think being an adult's going to be awesome, and it's not always. So how do I make it awesome for myself? And that's like, get to be a kid. I get to watch fucking cartoons. I get to go home at a decent hour. It's just like, I love it.
What's some favorite memories you have, being here?
With the pandemic and starting a barbering career, that was a little bit of a bummer. Because, money, and then just like, the mask thing for sure. I thought that was nice because I had to work on showing my face when people talk anyway, because you can kind of tell what I'm thinking. So here, I would say, I don't know, this pandemic shit was nuts. So just cheering each other up and being a team and like having each other's back. The big rule in barber school is don't bring politics or religion in a barbershop. And that is all that was fucking happening, because we had the Trump bullshit, we had everything else that happened along with the pandemic. So a lot of people came in and it was just like a lot of anger and a lot of tension, and people just kind of like politeness went out the window, and it was just a lot of ego and like, this is what I have to say, COVID's not real. And it's like, fuck man, I have to stand here. I can't go anywhere. So for 9 hours a day, people are telling me like the most awful things and their opinions, and I'm not allowed to express mine. So we all had each other's back and just tried to cheer each other up. And we just kind of created this system with one another where we're like, let's just try and make this a happy spot as possible and joke around and try and get people to not talk about what's happening outside.
I heard that this is the final chapter of Two Bits. I heard you're moving out to Cali.
Yeah.
What's out there for you? What's next?
Mama's going back home after 10 years. It's like a fucking high school reunion. I'm making a full 360. I was having a hard time with this pandemic, like everybody, I'm sure. Like, it's hard to find your happy, And so I took a trip out there. I stayed with some friends. And these are people I've known for like 15 plus years. And just kind of being reunited with them, but also being in that environment. The fucking sun, for one. I'm also a surfer, so like I haven't done that in years. And I'm just like, I don't care that it's more expensive, cost of living, whatever, because the cost of this is a lot more important to me. And I just never really felt homey here. Like, I've met some amazing people. I love my job, but that's not enough. Out there, I'm just consistently happy. So I got a job. The internet is awesome. It also sucks because you have to be accessible 24/7 to people, whatever. Instagram, different shops, barbers follow each other, you meet at conventions, the networking factor. So somebody just saw my haircuts, started following me, and then we had all this stuff in common, and it was like, oh snap. Well, I'm going to be out in Cali. I'll come hang out and check out the shop. Best time I've had. I ended up being there for like 2 hours just shooting the shit, and it was like same wavelength. It was just really awesome. And then I was like, I'm going to move here. I'm going to work here. And they were like, I don't need you, but I want you. So hell yeah, come work here. Do whatever you got to do. I got you.
With that being said, is there any shout outs you want to give to anybody,
Dave Dumais Dave Dumais, that's my mentor. I mean, Bubs, obviously. Bubs, forever and ever. Nah, Dave Dumais, Montreal. Montreal. He's the reason I got into barbering. Best summer of my life living out there and working with him. If it wasn't for the pandemic, I'd still be there cutting hair. This dude is just like finesse. He's the shit. He's just like the dopest human ever. He was somebody that didn't just do barbering. He also did women's hair as well. And his shear work was fucking killer. And it's just like, barbering can become very one note, you know? So like, he was somebody that knew a little bit of everything and just set a vibe.
Beautiful said. Beautiful said. Well,
You've caught me all caffeinated, dude. I had fully booked today and the last 3 days, and I'm just like, I can't believe this is real. It's the last day.